topic so much on YouTube, how to be magnetic. How do we maintain magnetism? How do we attract other people to our lives? How do we attract abundance? How do we become more magnetic with our aura? Those are the things that we're going to talk about in this video from a different perspective, from a spiritual perspective. Mentioned that we are mostly fragmented. What does that mean? Being fragmented with lower vibrational emotions like anger, envy, sadness, and so on and so forth. And so when we are fragmented, we actually have to spend a lot of time and energy maintaining this image that we convey, this image that we gather with our aura. And so later on, we actually spend a lot of energy and we excessively repel. And we're going to talk about this duality between repelling and attracting, because we want to be more magnetic. We want to attract within. So essentially, Jung mentions that we are fragmented, but actually when we turn into wholeness, when we let go of a lot of these emotions and we are forgiving of these emotions, we essentially become more whole. We integrate. The word is integration. Comment below, I am integrating all of my fragmentation, because your fragmentation is preventing you from being magnetic. It's preventing you from attracting the love of your life, attracting this beautiful job that you want to have, this amazing opportunity into your life. Birds outside. But essentially, when you are magnetic, you tap into the feeling. You tap into the feeling of being magnetic into your own state, into your own aura. You tap and you feel. It comes from the solar plexus, from within and so without. So within, so without. Okay, as above and so below and so forth. So you want to tap into your feeling of who you are, essentially, of knowing thyself. And it's hard because we are always knowing ourselves. We are always discovering and exploring who we really are. And it's a lifelong journey, or else we wouldn't be here on this planet, right? So yes, we totally understand this challenge. But when you tap into the feeling of carrying yourself out into the world and you know who you are, you at least are okay and you're accepting and you're whole within yourself. So tapping into Jung as well. So we're tying everything together and you feel more whole, you start to attract. You start to carry yourself differently. And that's how things emerge and come to you. Way of being magnetic is actually being yourself, is being authentic. Through authenticity, what is really authenticity? Let's think about it for a moment. Being authentic means that you're okay with who you are, that you express yourself. There's a lot of people out there in the world that walk around and they don't express themselves. They don't really charm. They don't really show. They're not seen. And it's not about trying to be seen and trying. It's really about being authentic. It's about being yourself, expressing yourself. Now, I'm going to say this word again, but we want to decipher, what does it mean to be authentic? And I think it boils down to the point in your life where you feel like you have become whole enough to be yourself. You have become okay enough with yourself. You love yourself. It comes from love, essentially. When you carry yourself with love, you become more magnetic. Everything will just come to you. Okay? So it really comes down to carrying yourself with love, carrying yourself with authenticity, expressing who you are, looking at people in their eyes. All right? Lingering. Expressing yourself. Being charmful, smiling. All right? It's part of being. It's part of the essence of being yourself. And everyone has their own blueprint and everyone has their own way of being themselves. And you need to cherish who you really are. You need to cherish your uniqueness, because only through cherishing your uniqueness, you will be able to become magnetic. You will become irresistible to the love of your life. You'll be irresistible to this business opportunity. Really teach you how to be authentic. It's something that you need to feel, and that's why I'm tying it back to tap into the feeling of expressing who you are. And I think it boils down to expression. When you start expressing who you really are, you become more and more and more magnetic. You become more and more who you really are. You become more authentic. And that's what we actually want. We want to draw in, from out, in. So we need to actually be whole. We need to express. It's like this arrow that comes in, but also there's an arrow that comes out from you. But you're not repelling, and you're not, becoming needy. You're not giving away your energy or something like that. No, that's something else that we will talk about as well, because that is something that people are misunderstanding about. You can become yourself. Essentially, you detach. You automatically detach. And this is another integral part of being magnetic, another integral part of expressing yourself, of becoming who you really are, of being okay and being accepting of who you really are, is detaching. What does that mean? It means not caring what other people think. It means I don't care what other people have to say. I don't care about their reactions. I don't care about my family, what they have to say about me. Of course I care about them, but I don't necessarily care about every little word or every little thing that I do, because I have my own integrity. I have my own authenticity. I have my own way of living my life. I have my own expression, my own soul expression, that are not detached. They keep on clinging to outcomes of like, what is going to happen there? What is going to happen here? What is this going to say? What is that going to do? You're literally spending all your energy out on other people and not on yourself, and not on holding the energy within yourself. How do I hold the energy within myself? How do I do that? Is by detaching. And this is back to spirituality and Buddhism, Stoicism, any other teaching and method out there in the world that has talked about those topics, endlessly. It's all about detaching, not caring, being in this, I'm stoic, like I am just who I am. I am who I am. I'm the sailor man, you see how I'm expressing myself through this video, and I just want to share just that you have to be yourself. You have to be yourself, because everyone else is taken. Everyone else is out there doing their own thing. You have to be yourself. Become yourself more, and you detach. There comes a freedom. There comes a freedom of being you. And then what happens is that you detach more, and you start to become more magnetic out of a sense of freedom, a sense of I can be who I am. That's who I am. That's who I am. I am myself. I can express myself. I have the freedom to do so. I have the freedom. It comes from freedom. It comes from love. Then you magnetize the love of your life. Then you magnetize your friends, your community. You magnetize new people into your life, new opportunity, new money, new business, abundance. It all boils down to being free of who you're meant to be. And being okay with who you are right now at this moment. Being okay, I'm fine. I have all my fragmentation, but I'm integrating it. I'm becoming whole again. I'm becoming self-accepting of who I am. I'm okay with who I am. More than enough than yesterday. More than enough than yesterday. Last thing I'm going to say here, the flip side of this thing is repelling. Now, you can feel when someone is repelling, when someone is fragmented, when you can tell they're in their anger state, when you can tell they are not okay with themselves. You can tell, you can see how they hold themselves. There's something wrong. There's something broken. And I'm saying there are a lot of people that are broken. I can be broken as well, but I still am okay with myself. I am free. I have freed myself. I have detached. Okay? I have healed. And this comes down to shadow work as well. If you do more shadow work, and you work on those fragmentational parts of you that are still angry, that are still non-forgiving, that are still sad, that are still heartbroken, that are still hurt, unhealed, fragmented, you should do shadow work. And that's a whole other video. But shadow work will make you more youthful, will make you more younger, will make you more magnetic, will make you freer, because you'll be forgiving. Part of shadow work, an integral part of shadow work, is to be free. Be free from the hurt. Be free from the pain. The whole thing here is to stop trying. Stop trying so hard to be magnetic, because that's actually repelling. You're repelling being magnetic. Why would you do that? Again, come back to center line. Remember the center line. It's so important. Come back to center. Be who you are. Express yourself. Hold yourself. Be still. Detach. Then you attract. Thank you.